Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm coming at you from Team Shadow Strike, and I have another deck profile here for you from a friend of mine who is my friend Zach, who you've probably seen me play the most matches on my channel with. A lot of memorable moments, a lot of double criticals, a lot of mistakes, a lot of fun has been had with me and Zach. You know, Connor and Zach being two of my better opponents, and he's going to be showing off his Revenger deck here for you guys that you saw in the Revenger mirror match that I would like to point out that I won. And this will not be the only Revenger deck you see from either one of us. We will also be posting Raging Form decks when they're available. So with that said, here's Zach.
I'm so excited for Raging Form, and I'm so happy they finally got more support.
So, Zach, real quickly, why don't you tell them why you chose Shadow Paladin?
I chose Shadow Paladin because when I would go to your house and you're like, hey, I'm playing this new game called Vanguard, and I'm like, okay, neat, cool story, bro. Because I had just quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I was just tired of it.
Like half the world.
I mean, it was when Tour Guide was like $300 for a playset, and I just thought that was retarded.
And now it's $6.
Yeah, and when you go on Craigslist and see, will suck dick for Tour Guide, please give me, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this.
You know what's sad is I know you're telling the truth.
Yeah, and it took me some convincing, but I was like, oh, okay, fine, how many decks you guys? Like, well, I have like 20 decks. Well, fuck, okay, this is actually kind of neat. So I picked one out. Shadow Paladin sounded cool, and this was also the deck, that was also the deck I had the best luck with. I always got into Javelin. And if I didn't, I went into Blaster Dark next turn. So it was pretty good, and I just fell in love with it. So,
well, without further ado, why don't you show us your Avengers?
Creepy Dark Goat is on order. $17, but it is worth it because it is going to get rarer. And the only reason I bought it now is I might run it when Raging Form's out.
Yeah, it's one of those promos that kind of every Shadow Paladin player must have.
Yeah.
Just real quickly, guys, if you're one of the players who may not know exactly what we're talking about, it's a 4K Grade 0 Forerunner that can slide out to any rearguard circle when it's rode by a Grade 1 Shadow Paladin.
Yeah, you ride it, and it goes back, and you counterblast one, put it back in, search top for Grade 3.
Yeah, so...
Which may seem not like much, but...
Well, the reason it'll work a lot better in the Raging Form deck because it'll get that second form to your hand.
It'll either get you Luminal or not Luminal. Mordred. Why am I saying Luminal? God. Illusionary. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's where you can get it to break right off or get you a second Raging Form, whatever you want to do.
So,
pretty good. And then my trigger lineup is, if I can get my shit straight here, 4 draw. I try to stay true to the original setup of 8 crits and 4 heal.
I will say the trigger lineup, the triggers for all 4 triggers that will soon be in this deck, these 4 becoming Revenger Air Raid Dragons, all 4 of them are absolutely gorgeous.
I love this one the most.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll say I love these 2 the most, just because they're just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy.
So we have ourselves an 8 critical, 4 draw, 4 heal lineup.
Oh yeah, and trust me, those 8 crits really come in handy.
Because we're good players, we don't play stand triggers and paladins.
Oh no, son. And we got 4 Masquerade, the 7K or the 7K that turns to a 10.
It's our K clone of the deck.
Our K clone, whatever that. Yeah.
Like Knight of Friendship K clone.
That's right. And then I got right now I'm running 4 vanillas. This is my ideal ride, and this is also because honestly these 2 I'd want to ride first.
Yeah.
But I have another one that is also a decent ride, but it's just better to get these 2 because I can get early attacks off them, early damage, and then Perfect Guards, which are going to turn Revenger as soon as 12 is here. And the Revenger art is sexy, but I still love Mac Leary.
Well, what's also nice is even while we get our Raging Forms and hold out for these, I don't even think... Let's see, Blaster Dark isn't a special counter blast.
No,
Tart isn't either.
Mm-mm.
So there,
I don't even know if Raging Form.
Raging Form for his effect to counter blast add 3,000 power, I believe is.
Okay. Isn't it counter blast 1 or 2?
It's just 1.
See, and that's not hard at all to get 1 Revenger.
So I mean, I still want the Revenger Perfects.
Oh,
but
I know.
You can last without them.
Right. And then the part where me and Jaden conflict on is I run Brandbow. I like this just because my boss is different from his, and it's good for early hits. And I also like it because it's if you get one on the board as your Vanguard booster, you can use the other two for perfect guard bait, which is totally fine. And on top of that, I don't like running the Counterblast 1 draw 1 or Counterblast 1 gain 1.
Well, and neither do I really. I only run it because of Darmoid's effect requires a sack of Revenger. That's it.
Which you got lucky and were able to get Darmoid. I didn't feel like buying it because
I got lucky because I knew somebody who had them. I didn't order them and I wouldn't have. And I explained that in my deck profile. It was the same with Link Joker. I don't see the point in spending $38 to get the starter that comes out as a rare in the set that is $1, and then I don't see the point of spending $10 a piece on the 3 promos when my new boss monster is going to be Nebula and is 10 times better.
Right.
So,
I mean, and honestly, I had to tinker with it, and I got kind of lucky with one of my grade 2s also, and one of my grade 3s, because
true.
I was just going to, kind of tinker with it, and I didn't want to buy the rest until set 12 came out.
I will be doing a locals report this weekend, guys, to let you know how everyone did in the sneak peek, so cross your fingers for us.
And then grade 2's my homeboy, my favorite unit ever, Blaster Dark. I'm so happy he's back, and he's got some sexy psychedelic hollow.
Yeah, his red cape and black armor. I mean,
just...
he looks like he I never noticed this, but looking at his art, doesn't he look like he belongs in one of the Castlevania games?
I was never a big fan of Castlevania.
Well, neither was I, but just looking at it, or something like he could be like something out of like shit. I can't remember the name of it.
You see something vampire related, I will hunt. I'll kick you right
now. No, it's
Van Helsing.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll agree with that. I like Van Helsing. Vampire related, but it kills vampires, so I'm okay with that. And then what was not originally my idea, but I like it, is Forbidden Lancer.
That's Curse Lancer.
Curse Lancer.
Forbidden Lance is a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
That's right. God never leaves you. Hit the Vanguard at Counterblast 1. Or
unflips one.
Unflip. Uncounterblast.
It's a good grade 2 ride when you're using Dark Goat.
I mean, I normally do like to ride him over Blaster Dark because, you ride him, charge Goat, counterblast, search out, swing with him, unflip the damage you hit for Goat.
So it's pretty much a free search.
Right. And I'll tell you, out of my box here, I play tested a whole bunch of other shit. Like I did Rugos, and that was something else. My 3 Nemons from my older deck, and 2 Matcha, and they just didn't work. So
it conflicts with the break ride because you're gonna have to pay for the break rides.
Right.
But
it helps too because I didn't find until later when I played it more, I really counterblasted a lot.
Well, I'll even admit I didn't say this in my video, but I was going to play Moonlight Witch going into last Saturday's tournament when I went 6-0 and ended up losing in the final match to my good friend Zane, for the simple fact being he drew everything and I drew nothing. Which happens. And I don't mind losing to Zane. He's a hell of a player. Shout out to Zane there. But I was going to play Moonlight Witch, and at the last minute I started thinking, Moonlight Witch is a 2, Blaster Dark is a 2, and the Break Ride is a 1, and Dark Goat is a 1. So I just don't like that, so I dropped all 3 of my Moonlight Witches and threw in Lancers, and it was half the reason I went 6-0 for the day. So.
And then lastly, him. I love his new art. It is sexy. I do not like how he's not hollow, because hollow was gorgeous, but I'll live with it. Because it's Masquerade. Wasn't he like the first 12k attacker?
Actually, no. The first 12k attacker was Burning Horn Dragon. It was...
For the Overlords?
Yeah. The first 12k attackers, it was actually for the 3 original clans. It was Royal Paladin, Kagero, and Shadow Paladin, so it was one of the first 3.
Yeah.
The first 3 being Burning Horn Dragon for Kagero, Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere for Royal Paladin, and I can't remember, and then the Masquerade for the original Shadow Paladin deck. So.
And in grade 3s we have this guy, which is awesome. He is my favorite break right now, over Ashley.
Which is now no longer yours.
Yeah, I'm giving up Royal Paladins. I might rebuy Ashley in Assault just to get Ashley reversed, but I'm not even thinking about I'm going to do that anymore.
But just real quickly, like I did for mine, I'll read his ability just in case. Well, and Zach, you read this real quick, for argument's sake.
Read it or paraphrase it?
Well, you can choose.
All right. Well, I'll paraphrase it then. Shadow Paladin rides this unit. Well, his first ability is when he's by himself, non-break ride. He turns 13 when he attacks Vanguard, making him 13. He'll hit cross rides. Of course, what did you expect? It's Shadow Paladins. They're badasses. Secondly, you got... If a Shadow Paladin rides this unit, which is normally a grade 3, either another version of him or another grade 3, he will gain Counterblast 1. He gains 10k for the turn, and you search out one Revenger unit and call it to the board. It gains 5 for the turn.
Keep in mind, guys, that you have to counterblast to gain both abilities. If you do not counterblast, it is a miss break ride. So.
And it's a sad day when you miss your break ride. So. And then the one thing I do not like, but I'm using it for now, I'm using Dark Dictator.
Well, Dark Dictator, it's kind of like the old version of Alfred.
It is. It's the old dark version of Alfred. This was actually my first Shadow Paladin I ever got. Because we were in Texas, and we were in this shop called Dragon's Lair, Connor and I. And they had, normally with the $40 boxes, and by the way, if you get a chance to go there, they got everything from comics to dice, whatever. They had what we thought, I think it was like normally the $40 boxes, normally. Mm-hmm. And I think they were mislabeled because they were selling for like $2.
Well, Dark Dictator, when he very first came out, the only way you could get him is if you bought, let me see one of them for a second, please.
We got him out of the set 4 box.
Yep, set 4.
Yeah,
that was the only way you could get him.
Yep, and then when me and Connor bought our first set 4, we got
another one.
So we had 2. And Jaden provided me with the third one.
And, Dark Dictator, he was going to be my choice until I got a hold of Curse Spear Revenger.
And I like him. I don't love him because he conflicts with Masquerade, which sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason when I found out my friend Ryan had Curse Spears, I wanted them, was so my Masquerades were always live. The other thing that I do not like is when you do Break Ride Dictator on top of him, you are losing 1,000 power.
Yeah.
That means the new magic number to hit you is 15, which is much easier for anything to hit, and that means you have to drop 10k just to guard the attack. Mm-hmm. But
on the bright side, though, if you keep your board fairly consistent, you'll always swing for at least 14.
Yeah.
Which is decent, but, it's still not great.
Well, also, because you can use, when you break ride, you're going to counterblast 1 to gain 10, call a unit, and then soul blast 3 to gain 5.
Right.
So, and then he'll be swinging alone, obviously, since he can't be boosted, since he's like the original Alfred, and he'll swing for 30,000 power if you have a full board.
Yeah.
So, well, Zach, couple questions for you too. What do you find to be your worst matchup?
I say Nova Grapplers is pretty bad for me, just because they keep standing and they keep swinging. I mean, it's either I do really good or I do awful against Nova Grappler.
So there's no middle ground?
There's no middle ground. If I do decently against other Paladins, well, Liberators right now beats me because they got more support, but I've not tried Aquaforce yet. I tried Great Nature, which...
It was a pretty decent match.
It was a pretty decent match. It was just kind of...
It stretched out a little bit.
Yeah, it was stretched out, and it was kind of just who got better luck.
But and then for your last question, how do you think Raging Form or Revengers will stack up against Link Joker?
I think if you play it right, you'll be okay. I mean, they have a disadvantage. Pretty much every deck's going to have a disadvantage over Link Joker, I think. Except for Ezel when that's released, but that's not.
Well, yeah, which won't be released in America until probably July.
And I mean, when Chaos Break lands, it's gonna rule. Yeah. I mean, that's a sad thing. I mean, I could see the. I think the end would do good against it. I think Raging Form.
I'm coming.
If you.
Hey guys, we're reaching the 15-minute mark.
If you play it right, I think you do good.
Yeah.
But it all depends if you play it right.
Well, guys, feel free in the comment section below to share your thoughts on the deck with Zach. Give him your ideas, criticisms, whatever. Just keep them professional. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, thumbs up to my channel. Once we hit 100 subscribers, we will be having a contest. So see you guys later.